Hey, Phobos, sisters, brothers, and others, I'm Jinx.
I don't feel good. I'm Snacks.
Oh.
And I'm clueless.
And we are Sisters of the Macabre.
Cue the intro.
But I don't wanna.
I'm leaving. Goodbye.
No, don't leave me!
Cue the damn intro.
Alright, so today we are talking about Helen Patricia Moore, an Australian child killer who was only a teenager at the time of her crimes.
Okay, that's fucked on so many levels.
Mm-hmm. So, let me tell you, finding any kind of information on this woman is insanely hard. There is only one book on it, and you can ask Snacks. She can give me 3 words of a song that aren't even actually in the song and the name of the band, and I will find it. I will find anything on the internet. Couldn't find shit on this woman. But it turns out I'm not the only one, because when I finally did hit the fucking gold mine after digging for 2.5 hours, one of the articles did say, and I quote, "By the way, don't bother Googling Helen Moore's name. All I could find was an article about how they briefly took her daughter away from her when she was born. All else I got from a book called Australia's Serial Killers by an Australian crime writer called Paul B. Kidd." Now that's the singular book on it. And apparently, what he's talking about is 2 years into her prison sentence, she somehow ended up pregnant and had a baby, and that daughter was taken from her. And when she was released, the daughter was given back to her.
Why?
Yeah.
So first of all, who the baby daddy?
One of the guards.
Or conjugal visit?
Secondly, what the hell? Like, yeah, you're probably fine to raise this child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, spoiler alert, she only did like 13 years.
How old was she when she did all the crimes?
It started, I believe, when she was either late 16 or early 17. But we'll get into that. But like, I'm just glad that I wasn't the only person who couldn't find shit on this story. I finally hit a lucky break. I found like 5 articles in one. I found the actual December 9th, 1980, like article on her ruling, which was pretty cool. And I found that in the Canberra Times, not on their website. I had to go through one of the archival sites, but I found it. Canberra Times is like just a local newspaper out in Australia. Man, finding archival websites is so hard, that like ones that you don't have to pay for. But I found one called Trove, and that one was really awesome. You can download PDFs, images. You can download it just by words. It's awesome.
So it's a free treasure trove?
Kinda, yeah. It was a treasure trove of information. It had all kinds of stuff. They had gazettes, newspapers, all kinds of stuff. It was really cool to see. But yeah, I did catch a little bit of a lucky break. There's not a lot of information on her. I found 6 articles in total.
Jeez.
6. And one of them had a lot of misinformation. I was so mad. But anyway.
Like, what kind of misinformation?
Well, I got another spoiler alert. They were saying that one of her victims was, or I don't even remember anymore. They said something wrong about a couple victims and about her brother. But anyway, I don't remember. This was yesterday. I've slept since then. Our story takes place in the Claymore suburb of Sydney, Australia. The suburb was fairly new at the time, opening its doors around 1978. So neighbors were just starting to get to know each other. There wasn't a whole lot of communication throughout the area. It also seemed to have a very high crime rate. Like originally the suburb was called I'm gonna butcher this. Badgally? Badgally? It's a I don't know. It's bad and galley, but in one word. And it was going to be called that after a local homestead, but the council decided to change it to Claymore so as to not give it a bad name, quote unquote. However, that really didn't work.
did not in fact make it less bad.
Yeah, no. it honestly, when you look up Claymore, like even on their Wikipedia page, when you look up Claymore, everyone hates this place. On its own Wikipedia page, it says, and I quote, Claymore is a place of hopelessness for young people.
Jesus.
Is it More?
Yes. You're looking it up?
This place looks depressing. I'm just gonna...
It is. Like...
Google!
Yeah, no, this place was horrible. Like, houses were poorly built due to time constraints because they were rushing to try and get people in. That led to a lot more issues, such as, like, all the homes were being really close. Like, all the homes were being built really close together. There wasn't a whole lot of privacy. The way it was described kind of reminded me of a close from, like, Scotland, where all the houses are kind of, like, either built really close together or built on top of each other. Obviously, they weren't built on top. Huh?
If you Google pictures of this place, one of the first pictures is like this dilapidated house with just danger tape around it.
Yep. I believe it. Like I said, Claymore is hated. Like, it was so bad.
Just the first place you look up, just danger tape.
Yep. That unfortunately sounds about right. Yeah, no, this place, like I said, brand new. Everything was really close together. But see, here's the thing. There was no transportation in the area. There were no job opportunities. There were no stores for groceries or clothes or any other necessities. I mean, this place was fucking miserable.
Why would you move here?
New foundations? I don't fucking know. The Department of Youth and Community Service were actually quoted saying, many of the people living in Claymore lead lonely, unhappy lives.
Jesus.
I love this place.
This place is apparently just horrible.
That's the picture they showed to the Wikipedia page?
Yep.
That's the best picture of this place that they could put on the Wikipedia page.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, it's a bad place. It's not the greatest place.
That's the picture you chose. Wow, okay. I'm here for it. Keep going.
Isn't it like a singular house that's like kind of far away?
Yeah. You can't even see the name of this building. It's got like bars and some outdated cars, and it's just blurry and from a distance. Like, that's how you're choosing to represent your... It's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. There's this place is horrible. And that's not even like, you're not even looking at the 1980 version of it when it was first built. Like, I'm like, obviously this is no hate to Claymore or Australia itself. It's just everything I am finding says that Claymore is shit. Claymore is like the San Jacinto of Australia.
I'm just laughing at how they're choosing to, like, advertise it. It's amazing.
That's not an advertisement. It's not an advertisement. That's a warning label.
I think it's a warning.
Yeah, yeah, the danger tape.
Yeah, danger. Don't fucking come here.
Just don't. Amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Oh, okay. So there's a little history on Claymore, because this is where the main part of the story takes place. But we're gonna jump back a little bit to when Helen was born. Her mother, Jessie, had this feeling like something was off. Her intuition was telling her that there was something just not quite right in Whoville. Now, I couldn't find anything on her birth father. No clue who the fuck he is. Couldn't find a single thing. But at 18 months, Helen was having a hard time communicating, and she was extremely destructive. Like, she would rip off the heads of her dolls, tear apart stuffed animals, she was pulling off limbs, like, she was going crazy.
I did that. Okay, let's go.
That explains
Way
so
to
much.
narc on yourself. Jesus.
I'm just, I did all that. I did not like the bar. Okay, alright, keep going. Sorry.
It's okay.
Don't apologize.
we're just having fun and talking. That's all good.
She was destructive. Oh shit. She ripped heads off Barbies. Oh shit.
I mean, you're not a child killer so far, so I think we're okay.
No, my child's still alive, so.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Hey, there's a
Easy.
difference
We're
between
good.
your child and other people's children. Your child's an angel. Other people's kids are other people's kids.
Yeah, but she hasn't killed any other people's kids either.
Ew, but I thought about feeding them to sharks, but you know.
Did they have freaking lasers on their freaking heads?
Yeah.
Fuck, are we Austin Powers?
Fantastic.
From the Sharknado.
Yes!
You're over a freaking shark tank with freaking lasers on their head.
Or these freaking sharks with freaking lasers on their freaking heads. Oh my god, yeah. It came to me. I had to. Shark bait. Okay, alright. But Helen, outside of home, was a pretty quiet kid. She was really shy. She didn't talk much when she was out and about. At home, clearly it was a different story. She'd start screaming out of nowhere, start destroying things, throwing things, just having really, really intense behavior. And Jessie would often talk to family members saying, you know, hey, something's off about Helen, but everyone kind of brushed her off because no one believed her, because Helen was always really well behaved anywhere that wasn't at home. Yeah, she was a really good student. She never got into drugs or alcohol. Like, outside of the home, she wasn't a destructive person. She was just an all-around good kid, just kind of growing up. At 13, Helen was playing a card game with her brother Peter, who was 4 or 5 at the time. Like, he was a baby. And somehow, she ended up losing. Not sure how a 13-year-old lost a card game to a 4 or 5-year-old, but you know what? She got really upset and she straight up attacked him.
I mean, okay, not justifying the violence. Violence is usually not the answer, but I'd be pretty ticked off if a 4-year-old beat me at cards, too.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. Absolutely.
Pretty cheesed off. Not justifying the attacking. Don't attack 4-year-olds, but I'd be pretty cheesed off if a 4-year-old beat me at cards.
Yeah, I'd be pissed, but I wouldn't, pull out a chunk of his hair and scalp.
Ah!
Because that's what she did.
That's extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that the behavior was really escalating to physically hurting people, Jessie finally ends up taking Helen to the doctor for a psychological evaluation to see what's really going on with her. When Helen came out of the doctor's office, the doctor said she was, quote, a perfect angel, unquote.
No, I wish that I had Jessie's girl.
Yeah, he said that there were no signs of violent and destructive tendencies, and that she was literally a perfect kid for her age. The doctor then decided to ask what was wrong with Jessie instead.
Wow.
The doctor ended up blaming Jessie, saying that she's the issue and that she's the one struggling with something mental and needs to be medicated. The doctor straight up thought Jessie was making up all these wild stories about Helen and described Jessie Valium. Not described, prescribed Jessie Valium.
Described her as Valium.
Yes.
I mean, I had a doctor that prescribed my younger sister a duct tape. Because she's a nervous talker.
Bet that guy feels like Jessie's doctor feels like feels stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that and apparently Helen, like I said, outside of home, she was a little perfect angel, so she was manipulating the fuck out of everybody. So 1978, Helen, her mom Jessie, stepfather John, and her 2 little brothers 2-year-old Andrew and 7-year-old Peter moved into Claymore, and to everybody on the outside, they seem like a pretty normal family, but again, there was no communication going on. Nobody talked to each other. Nobody wanted to get to know each other. Nobody trusted each other because there's a lot of crime going on, and there's just a lot of problems.
I mean, and how do you even broach that subject? Like, hi, I'm Jessie. This is my daughter. Don't make any sudden movements. She's a fear buyer. Like, how do you broach that subject?
But you're also dealing with the fact
And you're right, you
and
don't.
you're also dealing with the fact that the doctor that you kind of went to is saying, "Oh, yeah, you're crazy. It's just all in your head. Here's medication for you, not your kid."
Yeah, no, this is all your
Yeah, like,
fault.
how do you bring that up over a casserole? I don't.
Yeah, you really don't.
Plus, it was the 70s, not really the peak of mental health.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. So 1978, they move in. Helen is 16 at the time, and she starts volunteering at the local community center called the Claymore Information Service. Now, when I looked it up, couldn't find anything on it. There's nothing there. So I'm just kind of assuming it's like it's a community center, you know, like what we have today, but instead it was called the Information Service. So, and she actually found that she loves babysitting kids. She loves children. She gets along with children.
She is the children.
Yeah, we already know she is a children, but she also attacked her 4 or 5-year-old brother. Technically stepbrother, but or half brother, but anyway. So she kind of gets the idea to start putting herself out there to babysit. And thankfully for her, she volunteered at the perfect place to advertise, as the bulletin board for the community was held at the information center. This was before the internet, so they had to actually talk to people and post things on physical bulletin boards to advertise. Gross, I know.
That's terrible.
I know. Ugh.
Human interaction? No, thank you.
Yeah, I would rather not, thank you. But people would come in and advertise their services on this bulletin board, so of course she uses this to her advantage, puts her services out there, and she was able to get quite a lot of business out of it. Since, as I stated before, with the locals still getting to know each other and, not having any trust or anything like that, no one really had a local babysitter that they could go to and rely on until she started offering that service. Now, Helen was really, 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 really close to her little brother, Andrew. She loved taking care of him. They bonded really well. I mean, he became the one thing in the world that would actually, calm her down from one of her episodes. The two shared a really close bond, and she became almost a sort of mother figure to him with how close they truly were. Unfortunately, tragedy struck March 1st of 1979 when her little brother Andrew randomly passed away one night in his sleep. Now, it was diagnosed as cot death, now known as sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. But Helen did not take this well at all, which, I mean, I can imagine with how close they were and him being the one thing that could calm her down. She took his death extremely hard.
Yeah, I'm guessing this did not help the slew of issues she's been having.
No, not at all. She took it extremely hard. What I find a little odd is just 2 months later, May 19th, 1979, another baby in, I'm gonna butcher this because I don't know how to fucking say it, Daruk, Dharruk, Australia,
Sure.
about, you're right, about 25 miles, it's like 25 and a half miles from Claymore, also passed of cot death, or SIDS. What makes it so strange is SIDS is extremely rare. So it's getting a little suspicious. And this loss was 16-month-old Suzanne Louise McIntosh, who just so happened to be Helen's cousin. Helen also just so happened to be babysitting the night Suzanne died. What a coinky-dink.
Strange.
Uh-huh. Well, no one had realized that poor Suzanne was, dead until the next morning, since her parents thought she was just sleeping when they checked on her the night before. Uh-huh. Now, eventually, Jessie hears of Suzanne's passing, and her instinct flares up again, thinking it was Helen who'd actually killed her. Jessie couldn't shake the feeling, so she eventually decided, and I'm not kidding, she eventually decided to just go up and ask Helen if she did it.
It's for real.
I'm dead ass.
Hey, honey. Just curious, have you killed any children lately?
Yeah. She literally went up and asked her if, she had anything to do with Suzanne's death. Now, of course, Helen denied it, freaked out over being asked that, so much that she just became hysterical. And Jessie chose not to push the issue and just let it go.
Oh my god, girl.
Issues. Well, she allowed Helen to keep babysitting, thinking that it had to have just been a coincidence. My daughter couldn't have possibly killed this kid.
But you just said, I know it's her.
I know, her instinct is out there, but she's, you know what? She's thinking that she's wrong. Everybody, all of Helen's life, and now this is like 16 years in now, has told her that Jessie's the problem.
Fucking gaslighting bitches.
Yeah. So, about 8 months later, on January 16th, Vaughn Robert Nicholson was suffering from convulsions and seizures in his sleep. Guess who his babysitter was that night?
Oh, pick me.
Yes, Snacks.
Is it Helen?
It's Helen! Ding, 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 you got it right.
Score.
Yeah. So, 911 was called, and he actually did end up surviving. Doctor said that the seizure he had was rare but natural, and that there was no outside force causing it. And it was even called a freak accident.
Okay.
Yep. And, Jessie just had that feeling again. 3 babies dying around her in less than a year. So Jessie decides to confront Helen again, because, that went so well the first time. Of course, Helen freaks out again, blames Jessie for accusing her of murder, gets defensive and angry, yada yada. And they end up actually spending some time apart, and Helen gives Jessie the silent treatment. After a while, Jessie went to Helen and apologized, for accusing her yet again. And Jessie tells her she is embarrassed and ashamed that she thought that she could have possibly had anything to do with those murders.
Okay.
At this point, Jessie is convinced that she's been wrong the whole time, and that maybe everyone else was right, and that she is the problem. There has to be something seriously wrong with her if she thinks her own daughter could do that to those children when she loves children so much. So 2 whole weeks pass from the time that she was babysitting Vaughn. It's Friday. Ha! It's February 1st. It's February 1st, and Helen is watching 2-year-old boy named Aaron Crocker, who ended up having a mysterious seizure. Yep. Helen ended up having to call 911 again, saying she noticed he wasn't breathing while he was sleeping. Now, unfortunately, he ended up in a coma for 2 weeks, and when he woke from the coma, Aaron was blind and unable to walk. So he ended up staying in the hospital for 6 weeks. I know.
Poor thing.
These babies.
I know. I mean, just a 2-year-old little boy. But, this had caused him a lot of issues in his life, and later he died from complications relating to the incident. So he survived the attempted murder, but didn't survive completely.
Survived the murders, but didn't survive the symptoms.
Yeah, exactly. So another 2 weeks go by. And Helen is yet again babysitting.
Stop letting your child around children.
Yeah. Yeah. It might have been a little bit. It was a little bit more than 2 weeks, but, I rounded. February 24th, Rachel Ann Hay, a 2-year-old girl, was found dead in her crib. It was diagnosed as a crib death. Now, Jesse still had this gut feeling that it was Helen, all of these deaths and the coma. That was all her, and Jesse knew it. But she had been
Which one
told
is it?
she
Is
was.
it her or is it not? You keep bouncing back and forth.
I know. Well, Jesse's stuck between, am I the problem? Yeah.
No,
She's
it's not
like,
her. It's her. It's her.
It couldn't possibly be her. Never
Well-
mind. I was wrong.
it couldn't be my daughter, but I feel in my my instinct is telling me that it's my daughter, but how could it be my daughter? Yeah.
Girl.
She's fighting. She's fighting. But yeah, she still had this gut feeling, and she swore it was Helen. As I mentioned before, there was no word of mouth going on in town either, so no one talked to each other, no one trusted each other. Everyone kept to themselves, so no one but Jessie made the connection. She'd always had a feeling that it was Helen, as we know, but she really wasn't absolutely certain until March 31st. A little over a year after her precious little brother Andrew's passing, Jessie left Helen alone with her half-brother Peter to babysit him.
Why?
Helen-
If you know in your gut it's her, why would you leave her with your one remaining son? Why?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I doubt that was the only time that she had done that, but it's still a valid question.
If you know in your gut and all of these mysterious baby deaths are occurring around your child, why would you leave your other child with them? Oh my god, okay.
No, I feel you. I felt the exact same way. I still do. So, obviously, Helen attacked Peter. And though he tried to fight her off, he's 7 at the time. So, she's 10 years older than him and much stronger than him. Exact details are a bit muffled, but the police were called and Jessie went straight to them telling them she knows it was Helen.
Did they tell her she was wrong?
Once Helen was
Did they tell her she was wrong?
No, they arrested Helen.
Oh, somebody listened.
Seriously. So once Helen was arrested, she spilled all the tea. March 31st through April 1st. Now that's the day that she got arrested, the day that she killed Peter, and the day after. She detailed everything. She first confessed to the murder of her half-brother Peter, then admitted to the murder of Suzanne and Rachel and the attacks on Vaughn and Aaron. For Peter, she claimed she walked up behind him while he was watching TV and put her hands over his nose and mouth, cutting off his airflow to suffocate him. He ended up breaking free of her hold and tried to run for the front door, but she caught up with him. She held him down, suffocated him, and then threw his lifeless body down the stairs.
Bro.
You want to know what she did after that?
Got an ice cream?
No, she went and took a shower and then called the police.
Oh my god.
As one does.
Yeah, I guess she had to get clean.
Hard day's work. Gotta clean up. Gotta look presentable.
Yeah. She worked up a sweat.
Yeah.
Choking her freaking... Ugh. Yeah, choking her 7-year-old brother. Anyway. So it turns out her preferred method of murder is the hands over the nose and mouth to suffocate her victims. She did this for everyone. In Suzanne's case, Helen had suffocated her, and according to Helen, Suzanne didn't struggle much. That's a quote. No shit, Sherlock, she's a 16-month-old baby! Sorry, that was aggressive.
Be aggressive. That shit is infuriating. Oh, it was so easy to kill, like, a barely 1-year-old child.
She didn't struggle much. What the fuck did you think she would do?
Did you think that the kid was just gonna, like, turn into Hercules, strangle 2 snakes, and then kick your ass?
Apparently, I don't fucking know. But with Vaughn, she did the same, and once she thought he was dead, she went back to go watch TV like nothing had happened. But she heard him crying a few hours later, and that freaked her out, so she called the ambulance.
Oh my god.
Same thing happened. Uh-huh. Same thing happened with Erin. She told police that calling Snacks is gonna laugh at the thing I have to say next, but only because she knows the anger. She told police that calling the ambulance of her, like, if her victim had survived was her thing, which is as stupid as fucking Dennis with his goddamn water.
Her thing. Yeah, fucking BTK would go and, like, get a glass of water. That was his thing. Fuck off.
Ugh. I will never do BTK. I'm telling you, I will never do BTK. I will just be raging that entire episode. It won't be good for anybody. Many people thought it was actually weird that she would be calling the police after an attempted murder, instead of just trying to finish them off. But, yeah, she was a kid by the time, I don't know.
That was her thing.
Gah. Okay, Dennis, fuck off. By the time she was taken in, her death count was 3 and her attempted count was 2. When she was asked why she would do this, she said she was bored and just felt like it.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. So, Helen's first hearing was postponed because apparently she had fainted. She was rushed to the hospital and treated for dehydration. So Helen's trial didn't start until May 19th. Initially, she was charged with 3 murders and denied bail for protection of the community. Makes sense. The trial lasted 5 whole days, and Helen actually took the stand and made a statement.
Oh, good.
She said Oh yeah. She said she was really sorry about what she did. She didn't know why she did. She didn't know why she did these things. She's always loved children.
You're bored.
Right. And I quote, "Something just came over me at the time." End quote.
Yeah, boredom apparently.
She told the court life began to go downhill after her brother Andrew died, and that all she wanted was a cure for how badly her life was going and how she felt, but there just was no cure. After seeing her brother die, she didn't understand why other children got to live, so apparently she killed Suzanne out of anger and helplessness. But more came to light about that during the trial, and I'll get to that in a little bit. During the trial, Helen was actually charged with yet another murder. Can we guess who it is?
No. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep. She was charged with the murder of her brother Andrew.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yep. Now the reason for this is yeah. And SIDS is super rare. Most cases occur in babies under 6 months, and at the age range where a child is most at risk is 2 to 4 months. They didn't know this at the time, but now it's widely understood that the risk of SIDS is nearly 0 by the age of 1. So Andrew dying of SIDS. Oh yeah, Andrew dying of SIDS at 2 years old is impossible.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, that's kind of old for SIDS.
Exactly.
He wasn't an infant at that point.
Exactly. I'm like, that doesn't work. However, evidence... Huh?
Whole ass toddler.
Yeah, you're right. He absolutely is. The interesting thing is, though, evidence actually suggested that Andrew had died of a respiratory ailment, and no matter how badly she actually tried to revive him. Apparently, she actually did try to revive him. That's what. Right. Now, during the trial, court not only had a psychologist, but also a psychiatrist on the stand. They informed the court that the tests they'd done on her suggested she was borderline schizophrenic.
Not other things?
They said, apparently not. So they said borderline schizophrenic. They said she was sometimes unsure of reality and did not know what she was doing. The jury of 6 men
I
and
know what I'm doing 99% of the time, but I don't kill people.
same though. Even though I may want to sometimes.
Yeah, but that's like the general public, not babies.
Seriously. The jury of 6 men and 6 women didn't believe that these murders were caused by schizophrenia. Defense counsel Mr. John Marsden argued that the, quote, horrific, unquote, way in which she killed these children, I'm gonna quote again, should convince the jury there was something seriously wrong with his client's mental condition. This was taken directly from the 1980 article that I was telling you guys about earlier. Now I'm gonna place a trigger warning here for SA. So any listeners who don't want to hear this, skip ahead a little while. Helen apparently had told the psychologists and everybody who was, doing these tests on her that she had actually been sexually assaulted by her uncle, who had also attempted to rape her. Helen said it had been happening since she was 8 years old, and it had been happening on an almost daily basis. And it didn't stop until her first murder. Plot twist, her uncle was William McIntosh.
Who?
Suzanne's father.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Yep. Now, of course, William denied these claims, but Mr. Marsden insisted that there was at least one instance when she was 15. I don't have details on that. I don't want details on that. Other doctors were also brought in to testify on her mental health, and this is a quote. She did not have a mental illness that would make her not responsible for her actions, and I agree with that 1,000%. She was responsible. She knew what she was doing. She knew she was murdering children. The way she acted in court was noted on as well. Most murderers are stone-faced and showed that they really didn't care much. Helen showed a lot of emotions, and she actually seemed remorseful, according to most people.
No.
Right.
Just no.
Don't believe it.
Yeah, that's... But after the 5-day trial ended, she was sentenced to 3 life sentences, 3 life sentences and an additional 10 years for the 2 attempted murders. This sentence was to be served concurrently, which means all at the same time. It's not one life sentence after another life sentence after another, it's all 3 life sentences being held at the same time, as well as the 10 years. Judge Roden refused to fix a non-parole period, which means that there's no possibility for parole at the time of sentencing. And while Helen was emotional during the trial, she gave no emotional reaction to her sentencing. Now, Jessie was not convinced Helen had killed Andrew. She was 100% certain about the others, but she did not believe Helen had killed Andrew just because of how close they were and everything else. Her instinct was not doing the spidey sense on that one. In the end, Jesse and John said that they didn't hate Helen for what she did. They were just devastated, which, makes sense. I mean, they lost all 3 of their children. They said that hating Helen wouldn't bring anyone back, and locking Helen up wouldn't cure her of her afflictions.
Yeah, but it would protect the rest of society. Jesus!
That's why she was denied bail. But they weren't the only ones who thought that, since in 1999, Helen was released on parole and is rumored to be living somewhere out in Australia right now. And she has a daughter. So
great. It's probably totally fine if you have this child. Probably fine.
Maybe kind of ish.
What could go wrong? It's fine. It's fine. Here.
It's really weird to see 5 pages only be like 40 minutes. But 6 hours of work was 40 minutes.
No.
I did go through it pretty quickly, so I mean, there's that too. Anyway, that is the case of whatever the fuck her face is, because I already forgot her name. Helen Patricia Moore.
Great.
you know, I don't know if I believe that she killed Andrew or not. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for listening.
I'd like to believe that she probably didn't, especially with the was there evidence
Yes.
of her trying to resuscitate?
I'm not sure.
She did not try with
No.
the other kids. She only if they resuscitated themselves, she would call the ambulance and police. Whereas that was the only case that she tried to resuscitate. And if she did in fact kill Andrew, then that was probably the
Right.
beginning.
Honestly, I have a slight speculation on why she killed Suzanne first. Like, going off of the basis that she didn't kill Andrew, obviously, I think she might have killed Suzanne first because of her father and what he was doing to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah, it makes sense.
yeah,
Wait,
I know what you mean.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
That's just that's where my speculation is. It's just like, she started her killing spree, because I don't think she killed Andrew, but she started her killing spree with the child that it would hurt her attacker the most. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not justifying it. I don't, obviously I don't agree with anything that she did. But it makes sense as to why she started with Suzanne.
You can understand somebody's actions, but not
It's like,
condone
I
them.
get partially where it's coming from. I don't agree with it. I think that there were better options. But yeah. Anyway, that's the case of Helen Patricia Moore. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to send us an email, it's sistersofthemacabre.com, or whoa, no. That is sistersofthemacabre podcast at gmail.com. If you want to find us on Instagram, that's SOTM Podcast 1. We are on Facebook as Sisters of the Macabre. I'm Jinx.
I'm depressed.
I'm clueless.
And we are Sisters of the Macabre. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Get the outro, bye.
As she commands.
I don't wanna, but okay. I'll be good.